Hello guys, and today I'm going to talk about politicians knocking up their mistresses. Okay? Now, what the hell am I talking about? And what does knocking up mean? Well, for those who aren't familiar with British slang, knocking up is a slightly ruder way of saying got somebody pregnant. Okay, so if a man knocks up a woman, it means basically he got her pregnant. Okay, now recently there's been a story about Boris Johnson knocking up Carrie Symonds. Okay, and if you look at the just a headline on its own, it seems fairly simple. Boris Johnson and a woman have got engaged and are expecting a baby. Isn't that sweet? But all is not quite what it seems. Firstly, he's already married. And he's the Prime Minister, but not to her. He's actually married to another woman, who he's getting divorced from, and in the meantime, while he's still married to his wife, he's got his mistress pregnant, okay? Now, obviously he's going to dump his wife for this woman. And if you looked at what the other woman looked like compared to her, you may not be so surprised if you're just obsessed with appearance alone, right? But let's look at what would have happened in the past. Now, he still became the Prime Minister. The public voted for him, knowing that he was cheating on his wife with her. He didn't deny it. But what happened in the past? When, way back in 1983, a politician called Cecil Parkinson knocked up his mistress while he was still married. Well, that became a different story. When Cecil Parkinson knocked up his secretary, I believe, in 1983, it caused a bit of a stir, and he was forced to resign. Back then, men weren't supposed to cheat on their wives, and if a man cheated on his wife in politics, they were expected to resign, and if they didn't resign, they would have been fired. Okay? There were several politicians who fell foul of this. Then Tony Blair came to power, and he decided that politicians should be allowed to have as much extramarital sex as they liked. And he said that he would not fire any member of his party for having sex outside of marriage with somebody else that wasn't their wife while they were still married, providing it was, in his words, just sex. In other words, there was no political favours for sex, no blackmailing in return for sex. It was just sex. Okay? Now it's gone all the way to the top, where the current Prime Minister has got his mistress pregnant, while still married to somebody else. Once upon a time, that would have been a huge scandal. He would have been expected to resign immediately. If he hadn't resigned, there would then have been probably a vote of no confidence in him. His own party and those of the opposition would probably have got rid of him if his own party hadn't got rid of him first. But times have now changed, and it seems that cheating on your wife is something that society isn't meant to care about anymore. It's supposed to be natural. After all, what are marriage vows these days? They mean nothing. So that is what's currently happening in Britain, okay? Our Prime Minister has knocked up his mistress, and everybody is meant to celebrate them for it, okay? And thank the happy couple that they're going to bring a baby into the world, okay? Outside of wedlock, and outside his own marriage, because as I said, he is currently married to somebody else, okay? Now, I'm going to see if I can show you what his current wife looks like, okay? Because I think it's all about appearance, to be honest, right? Sort of stretch this out a bit. Right, now if I sort of move that over. There you go, if I overlap his face, you can now compare what his current wife looks like on the left to what his mistress looks like on the right, okay? So there you go. Our Prime Minister has knocked up his mistress, and he's obviously traded in his wife for a younger model who looks prettier, okay? Thanks for watching, guys. Bye! Oh, but before I go, what are my views on it? Well, I feel that, you know, you should try and be faithful unless the other person has done something very, very bad. Okay? And to my knowledge, his wife hasn't done anything very, very bad. He just got bored of her. Right? But there you go. If you marry a player, are you going to be surprised if they dump you for somebody else later on? But there you go. You've got to also bear in mind that our Prime Minister is actually technically is basically an American. We have an American Prime Minister in Britain, believe it or not. So maybe they have different values over there. Especially with Bill Clinton, you know. Maybe Forty would try and emulate Bill Clinton, except Bill Clinton just used and dumped Monica Lewinsky, and it looks like Boris is actually going to marry his mistress. Until somebody else comes along that's even prettier, probably. Okay? Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!